Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Gravity 2 from Heavyocity. Heavyocity created an all-time classic library with the first Gravity, and Gravity 2 is a continuation of where that library left off. It is chock full of sound design, so we have hits, impacts, we have risers and transitions, and of course we have our tonal content with pads and textures and pulses galore. There is so much content crammed into just under 10 gigabytes. It is quite frankly unbelievable. Gravity is NKS compatible and runs in the free content player, and as I've already said, it downloads at just under 10 gigabytes. At the time of making this video, I do not have the pricing information. However, I believe there'll be an intro price and there'll be a cross-grade price that Heavyocity normally do on their new libraries depending on what you already own. I do highly recommend checking out the Heavyocity website when the instrument goes live, and of course once we get the pricing information we'll put this in the description of the video. What we're going to do in this video is take a look at Gravity 2, see what it contains, and then throw it into a 45-minute timed composition task. And I'd like to take this moment before we go any further to thank Heavyocity for sending over a pre-release version of Gravity 2 so I could check out the library and make this video. So please remember, it is pre-release and I've not had a massive amount of time with the library. However, I've played through everything I could possibly find and I have spent hours on it and obviously composed with it, so I do feel like I can talk very confidently about the contents of Gravity 2, and to be honest, everything I've heard so far just sounds absolutely brilliant. But of course, while we do get the libraries for free, it does not influence our thoughts, ideas or judgments on the product. But as I say, Gravity 1, it's an all-time classic for me, and Gravity 2 is already becoming a classic. Now, without further ado, let's just jump straight in. And here we have Gravity 2 gently oscillating inside the Native Instruments Complete Control player. And I have to say, oh my goodness, what a wonderful GUI. It's eye-catching, it's striking, it's got lots of information, and it looks so easy to read and understand. And of course, the large dial in the middle is just doing its thing, which is, you know, never a bad thing. Now, we're going to focus on the out-of-the-box sounds, as it were, because there is so much content in Gravity 2. However, I'm going to say or suggest that you pop over to the Heavyocity website to check out the functionality of Gravity 2. And there are some brilliant videos that will accompany the instrument. Now, on these pages here, we've got the mixer page, we've got the macro sequencer and LFO plugins, we've got the performance page, we've got the source browser, and there are so many different categories of sample. So to think this is just under 10 gigabytes is amazing. And then we have the effects. We've got Punish, which is an amazing distortion and saturation plugin with the Gently Now, Hurt Me Plenty and Nightmare categories, which we all know and love. And of course, you can click on the different effects and dial in whichever effects you want in your chain. So it's highly customizable, and I do love using the term sound design playground. You can make your own sounds, and you can of course save them and bring them up later. But we're going to focus on the library content. So the reason I love using Complete Control, apart from the light guides and all this kind of thing, is if you go just over to the drop down menus and navigating through, I know Contact's the same, I'm just so used to Complete Control. There are 3 folders. We've got Gravity 2 Designer, we've got the menu, and we've got the menu Excel. So if I click on the Designer and open the subbanks, you can see there are 12 categories. We've got rhythmic moods, ambient moods, tonal accents, we have enders, we have straight and triplet rhythm beds, tonal, atonal, modal textures, strings, transitions, and impacts. So I'm just going to load up rhythmic moods and just get, there we go, got Man in Flames. Okay, so it's pulsing away, and I'm using the mod wheel to control what's going on, but of course it is also automated anyway. without me doing or using any controls. Now if I play the purple keys, you can see the other samples are being triggered on the different layers. If I play the blue keys, okay, I went over into the purple, or is it pink? Yeah, different territory. Now, there's samples, or the instruments are made up of different samples and different layers, as you can see. So if I was to combine these, you can hear everything working together beautifully. So let's just play a couple more rumbling arrivals. Some really cool sounds going on there. Let's go for Trent Gregson. Okay, these are all tempo synced to your DAW, by the way, so I'm just in 120 BPM standard. But you can just hear the different layers. That is a cue starter. Now the video would be very, very long if I went and played sounds, all the sounds in the instrument. And again, I always say part of the joy is discovering the instrument for yourself, but I'm going to play something from each category. Lovely. Soul Searcher. Okay, so I'm reaching one end of my controller and the other end, and I was a bit all over the place there. But yeah, sounds gorgeous. Lots of hybrid piano activity going on there. The last of them. So already getting some like spooky sounds. Let's go in the tonal accents. Got lost keys. So that's very trailery. Tsunami swells. Okay. the dark swirl. Do Road Rash, classic game if you ever play the Mega Drive. Yeah, they sound great. So they're tonal accents. Then we've got some enders. Just going to play Falling Sky. Lovely. And let's do reverses and subs. Now, interestingly, apart from sounding amazing, these are key switchable. So if you want to change the pitch to fit your track, so if I just choose 1, so I'm just using a key switch to change the sound and the pitch of the sample. Okay, so you can key switch those. And again, the sound design is delightful. Straight rhythmic beds. Okay, and then nanomechanics. Yeah, sounds lovely. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, this is like the bread and butter of my composing, having a good pulse. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's go play one more, which is Robo Wars. Yeah, sounds great. It's very, very imaginative. So we got similar ideas, but in triplets. Yeah, these sound amazing. Yeah, love them. Then we have tonal textures. So we've got Cosmic Exploration. List of Things. And it's a good time to mention that the keyboard, you can see the sample range, so you can adjust the like I say, the range of the samples, and the colors correspond with what is on the different layer. And let's do one more. Spots of Creation. That is just beautiful. It really is. So you can see it is a toolkit of, like I say, sound design, pulses, textures, etc. I was going to play some modal textures, I believe I'm in. That's the second time I've actually accidentally used the mod wheel. Sorry, the pitch bend. First time it sounded really good. I don't think anyone noticed. That one was quite cool. Anyway. Yeah, some really cool sounds there. So it is major. So I'm actually just going to play major triads. Okay, so the tonality, it's been recorded using a major third. So if I play a minor, I'll just play a single note. Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm using my sustain pedal here as well, just so you know. Sounds amazing. I'm not sustaining every single note, but just sometimes. Yeah, these are brilliant. Let's play an atonal one. I'll just put my hand flat on the keys. Space Station. Yeah, it really is just a sound design dream. It's so creative. And then we've got stings. So this is gravitational pull. Okay, so these are different samples on the keys here, and you can change. You can change the pitch using the key switches, which is very cool. Oh, come on. It's awesome. It really is. I'm having too much fun. Guitar effects. Then we have transitions. So this is where we get our risers. So let's play some 2-bar risers. So they are pitched, which is very, very cool. I've got some reverses, so leaving space. Yeah. Lovely. Again, you can key switch those for the pitch. Some swells, horoscope. These are, of course, horoscopes, not horoscopes. I'm not going to tell you about, you know, Sagittarius and Libra, which is what I am. The sound design is just impeccable. It's massive. We're only in the first folder. I'll just play a few examples from each one. I mean, come on, this is awesome. Nightmare impacts. Yeah. Tonal impacts. It's very trailery at this point. Yeah, if you do horror composing or video game composing, I mean, just, yeah, this is what you need. So impacts, yes, we're on impacts, and yeah, that covers everything. Now that is just the designer. So if you go into the menu, and again, subbanks, you have all of these different categories. So if I was to load up stings, now you can see everything is organized in a different way now. So this is hybrid, atonal, high menu. Organic tonal menu for stings. And again, you can key switch these. And it is really important, the key switching, because it just gives you so much more control over the sounds within your composition. So let's just go for rhythmic pedals. Now here you can see we've got straight high, straight low, triplet high, triplet low. So everything is like further subdivided, and you can hear different sounds going on. And if you notice, the GUI changes. Okay, so that's all on, I believe it's a C when it loads in. Of course, you can, again, key switch these. So, yeah, just everything's here again, but in a different setting, I guess. Yeah, it's a hard one to explain, but these are, like I say, this is the Gravity 2 menu. So it's different to the designer. even though you still have the same controls going on. Yeah. If I go to the impacts, and I'm a huge, let's say DM307 user and Damage 2, and I love having like these breakout menus. So it splits the elements. That was a loud one. Subs. Okay. And then let's try to think. Let's just do some atonal textures, and you get the key these are recorded in as well. So abyssal depths. Yeah. These sound amazing. So let's just take one, the hanger. Now, if I just go back to all and type the hanger, okay, you can see in the designer, it's where you design the sounds. In the menu, these again are pre-made sounds. So the reason I did a search there, these are not duplicated patches. So we got different sounds in the menu here. I'm just being really loud compared to the designer. Okay, and I'm gonna just point out again, I've got no information about the library. I'm just kind of like picking my way through and learning it as I have been spending hours with it. Then we've got the XL, and these are awesome. I'm sort of taking it as kind of like everything you need picked out, but again, almost like different. Just the way it's presented. So for example, essential scoring elements straight. Now we've got our key switches here, and then the yellow. They're pulses. We've got textures, and then the orange at the top. It seems to be a combination of different sounds, like the signatures. Yeah, but in a single patch, it's kind of like everything you need to build a cue. So I'm just going to use my sustain pedal. Just hold some Ds. Got a lot of sounds playing there, and yeah, these patches are brilliant. It's kind of like everything you're going to need. So everything's kind of put in one place for you, and that's kind of how I'm seeing these. Amazing. So, like I say, the way I see it is the design is where you design the instruments, and you have all of these different sub banks, and you can play to your heart's content with the sounds. But there's, again, it's almost like singular instruments that you're going to use to score with. And then you've got the menu, so we've got different patches, different sounds, different samples, and everything is designed here. Again, you'd be using these for scoring. And then menu Excel is, again, used for scoring, obviously, because it's an instrument. But it's kind of like everything you're going to need put into one place. Yeah, really, really well thought out. And of course, there'll be more information on the folder structure on their Heavyocity website. So that is Gravity 2. The sounds are amazing, and I kept getting lost in, like, you know, in just playing the sounds and listening to them and building up different textures. But yeah, it is an incredible instrument, and there is so much content, and for under 10 gigabytes, yeah, I'm absolutely amazed how much content there is for such little hard drive real estate, as it were. Now, what we're going to do is I set myself a 45-minute timed composition task, and I wanted to use Gravity in the way that I would use it, creating some hybrid underscore for the sort of kind of like MTV, VH1 TV shows that happen where, I don't know, people trick each other. There we go. And yeah, 45 minutes, because I am so used to working to really tight deadlines. I want to see how it performs. So how easy can I find the samples and get everything to work together? The key switches, did it slow me down? That kind of thing. So everything will be revealed, but let's listen to the demo. And there we have our 45-minute timed composition task. And it is a very straightforward composition, just standard chord progressions, but it is a good example of the kind of hybrid underscore that I would send off to publishers. And of course, it features Gravity 2, and there are 11 Gravity 2 tracks, so lots of different sound design, pulses, drones, textures, etc. For the keys, I've used the Ascend piano and Aspire mallets, and the percussion is DM307, which is hands down one of the best purchases I've ever made because I use it on so many different types of music. So amazing Heavyocity libraries, and the sound is unmistakably Heavyocity. And it all started off with just a tonal texture, so the aqueous realms, and I'm playing this quite low, so I split it into low and high. Some booms, the booms are great, and just some tonal organic hits, and it sounds like this. Absolutely beautiful. I love the crunchiness of the tonal impacts, having that distortion put in there, provided by the Punish control. Or that's what I'm going to guess. I mean, there's got to be Punish on there, hasn't there? If you've not used Punish before, Punish is just a fantastic... You can have it as a standalone plugin, but it's been built into Heavyocity instruments since it was created, and it is just an amazing... distortion plugin or saturation, or depending how heavy you want to go with it, but it is brilliant. Anyway, so I added the Aspire mallets, and if you've not used the Aspire mallets, they're a fantastic hybrid instrument as well, and yeah, it just gives it more character. And there we go. So we're going into the next section. Now, you can hear the sound design is just really, really straightforward. It's really easy to use. If it's 4 bars, it's 4 bars and it hits perfectly. Or tempo syncing is amazing. But like I say, the sound design is incredible. Now, I'm going to use the first bass, or the pulse, which is scoring essentials. I'm using the straight toolkit here because it's kind of like in one patch, got everything that you're going to need. And it sounds like this, just the bass is fantastic. Now to follow the chord progression that's going on, you can just see it is all key switched. So really, really straightforward. Do excuse the big click of my keyboard then. And of course, there's so much tonal activity going on, and just the fact it's done by key switches. So all I found myself doing was actually, once I've put it in once, say for the pulse, I would then copy and paste the key switches for other instruments because they're in the same range. We've got the tonal textures low. So great movement, great stereo spread. The booms are great. They're not overly bassy or creating unnecessary mud. They just sound really, really clear. Then we've got some tonal organic hits. And again, these are key switched. So really, really simple, just copy and paste the same key switches. And these tonal impacts, and again, really crunchy. Which is awesome. And we have a 4-bar riser. I was going to play that. I can hear it stops bang on where it should do at the start of the 5th bar. Now, the piano, it's it's worth a shout because obviously Gravity is just a sound design dream. There is so much going on, but I wanted to show it in the context that I would use Gravity 2 and obviously have been using Gravity 1. So having a piano and a melodic instrument is very useful. So I've used the Send piano. Now Send was released a couple of years ago again. I sort of bought it because you always need more different piano sounds, and it's such a great hybrid piano. So I've used the Haunted Grand preset, but I haven't soloed it off. So pretty standard playing, but when you combine it with the mallets, it just sounds delightful. So that's picking up all of the melodic work, but you can hear underneath Gravity is just the bed of activity altogether. And by bed of activity, I'm referring to the fact there is so much movement going on with the samples. And of course, it's all tonal, so it just fits wonderfully. Now, the next section sounds like this. So it's a classic build. Now I've just used the basic grand piano to just go from a more sort of soft and reverberated sound. I've actually doubled it up with a basic grand. So we have more power going on. And then over on Gravity 2, we have the tonal textures high coming in as well. So I'm just going to play those two. I just love the sound of it, so I just kept using the same pad, as it were. But again, altogether, just listen to the underscore. And it is a really, really simple chord progression, but that took probably about 3 minutes to program, starting with the pulse and then just jumping around the different parts. Really, really easy. Now, I use a riser as a kind of transition and a boom. That's all I really went for, because especially when you're doing TV work, you don't want a huge amount of sound design going on when you're bridging sections together. So works beautifully well. And here is where I use the TikTok pulse. So again, I'm in the same toolkit. Oh no, I'm on scoring accents for this one. Aha. So if I play that. So I've got my my tracks wrong. There you go. That's the TikTok, and that's just a low hit accent. It's actually an accent. There we go. So these things happen when you speed composing. But hey. Now, just something of note, I'm guessing that the MIDI is slightly gone over because it's cut off the other track here. So you may have noticed the first sample didn't play. Okay, now it does. And again, these are kind of refinements that you're going to do as you go through. But it's a classic thing, especially when you work with loops. If you, for example, on the hi-hats, if I just go over the edge, it will actually stop the hats playing for the next one. Well, it hasn't on that occasion, has it? Oh, of course, I've got a hi-hat, a hi-hat, a hi-hat. I'm just getting bogged down with this hat business. Let's just try that again. There you go. I managed to stop that sample from playing. So it's something you just learn when you're working with libraries. And I always talk about the little Heavyocity trick that I use. So when I'm ending a section, if I just want to hit at the end, I'll that's on mute, isn't it? So I'll have a little bit at the end added for a hit. So you get that kind of like final release. So yeah, little composing tip there. So some crazy hi-hat talk and some unmuting of the instruments, but we got there in the end. Now, really, really straightforward. And then because we have this got that extra dimension, but these tonal impacts, so I just wanted to show some of these off. So again, it's a great example of the sound design, and obviously it's all new samples, but I feel like I can hear a bit of Damaged Guitars in there, I can hear a bit of Uncharted 88, so a lot of the newer the newer instruments that Heavyocity have created, I feel like there's sort of sounds based on those, and I could be completely wrong, but they do sound absolutely brill. And then we've got an ender, so I've used Flaring Sky here. There we go, and it cuts off bang on where it should do, which is lovely. So as a riser, and just fits in the mix beautifully. And then the final section is a repeat of the main part. I was going to stop it because I soloed the Aspire mallets. There is it's going to be out of time, the loops, but I've used the sort of high pulse TikTok still all the way through, which is another addition. And I've built up the drum parts in DM307, and of course the Aspire mallets, just highlight them. They just sound lovely. It's a dreamy hybrid instrument. Now let's go play the ending. Okay, you can hear a kind of high pitch sound going on at the very end, but I've checked my MIDI writing and there's nothing sort of going over the top. Now if I was to play it again, kind of from here, you can't hear it at all, it's not there. So I don't know what is going on with that. It's just my MIDI writing, not the instrument, obviously. But answers on a postcard, because I was listening to something that wasn't there and trying to edit it out. Yeah, so I might have been back on the playback of the recording. So that's the composition. Now, it is quite straightforward, and this is the whole point about doing these compositions, 45 minutes, and I'm going to do little mistakes here and there, like labeling the instrument incorrectly. That was quite a good one. And then trying to show something off, which didn't quite show off with the hi-hats, but we got there eventually. And that's kind of like the joy of working with these instruments and learning how to use them. Now, I've used Gravity 1 so many times, and I kind of know like the intricacies of the instrument, and I feel like Gravity 2 is so well put together, and navigating the menus and working with the instruments. Like I say, are there like intricacies you need to know? When I say that, you know, are there any little tricks you need to have up your sleeve? And no, not at all. It just does everything it intends to do perfectly well. And again, it's very, very easy to use. The key switches are all in the same place. They're not jumping around, so you can just move them around and copy and paste them between instruments, which is very, very cool. And the other feature that I really liked is obviously if you wanted to just bring punish down because you feel things are a bit too crunchy and too distorted, you can. But I never really felt the need to. I've used symphonic destruction a lot as well, and that is using punish. And in the mix, it sounds amazing, especially when you master your tracks off. So yeah, I don't feel the need to change anything that's in the box. In fact, I'm just thinking, wow, this is just an awesome instrument with so much content. But let's talk about my closing thoughts. Welcome to the closing thoughts section of the video. And all I can say is, wow, Heavyocity have done it again. The original Gravity is a classic library for me. I remember when I just got back into making music on my computer, which was 2018, and Gravity is one of the first libraries that I bought, and I was there scoring to video game trailers and footage that I recorded on my PlayStation. And yeah, I just fell in love with Gravity, and since then I've used it on so many different productions. Gravity 2 is just a continuation of that in every single way, right down to the instrument design, the samples, the sound design, the GUI, everything just screams Gravity 2, building on the amazing foundation that Gravity 1 has created, and just extending and expanding and just creating this whole new vivid world of sound. Do I recommend Gravity 2? Well, after that eloquent description, of course I do. It is, for me, it's an essential part of anyone's composing toolkit. If you're a media composer for video game, if you're a beginner composer or an experienced composer, these sounds will just massively enhance your productions. So huge recommendation from me. It just is a fantastic instrument, and I know I'll be using this so often in the future. I'm not going to replace Gravity 1 with it, because the way I see it, I just now have this one huge Gravity library, because they're both amazing. And there we go. I'm going to leave it there. It is beautiful though. Now, all I'm going to do is obviously take the opportunity yet again to thank Heavyocity for sending over a copy of Gravity 2 so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course a comment. What do you like about Gravity 2? How would you use it? And are you planning on picking it up? If you've not done so already, please check out our other videos on YouTube, and of course subscribe to our rapidly growing channel. And if you want to learn a little bit more about us, you can head over to thesamplist.com. Until next time, have a great day, a great evening, a great morning, afternoon, 11s, brunch, I don't know. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just enjoy yourself, make beautiful music, and we will speak again soon.